players, hope you guys are crushing it out on the tables. Today we're going to take a look at some of the reports that you can run in Holdem Manager as well as in Poker Tracker. Let's jump into it. First thing we're going to do is open up Holdem Manager and click on the Reports tab. As you can see, I have the cash results graph, which is one of the reports that you can run. To get more reports, you click on the More Reports, and we'll start out by looking at stakes. So as you can see, I have started from the 2 NL game and worked my way up to 50 NL. You can see how many hands I've played at each level, the net one, the big blinds, and your poker playing metrics. You can see that my aggression has steadily increased throughout the games, which is what you really have to do when moving up in stakes. The games do get more aggressive as you move up, and you have to adjust your game accordingly. I haven't been doing that well at the 50 NL. I'm not too worried about it. I think this will improve. Just need to keep getting as much volume in as possible, and the numbers will even out over time. You can see that the levels with the highest volumes are actually the same levels with the highest win rates, which is what you should be concentrating on too, is sticking to the games that you are best at, whether that's the levels or the size of the game. Stick to what you're doing best and winning the most at so that you can win the most money in the long run. Another good report to run is stack size. So you can figure out the optimal stack size that you play best at and have the highest win rate at. You can see that for smaller short stack tables, I'm not actually doing that great. Maybe I should stay off the short stack tables and only play deep stacks. Once I get over 250 big blinds, I have a little bit of a loss right there, but that is a pretty small sample size, as well as 350 plus, because it's not too often that you get stacks that large in a cash game either. You really have to go on a hot streak first. Another great report that you can run is by date time and do hourly. So you can see the hourly win rates and how you're playing at each hour throughout the day. And as you can see on mine, there is a specific time, and that would be from 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. I have negative win rates. So maybe that is the time when most of the regulars play, and I haven't been performing that well. I don't know why that would be, but all I know is that after 10 p.m. all the way through 4 p.m. through 5 p.m. until 5 p.m. the following day, I have consistent win rates. So maybe I should only be playing games after 10 p.m. or before 5 p.m. Maybe there's more fish on the table. Maybe people tend to consume alcohol during that time and there's drunk people playing. Maybe the games are looser. Whatever the reason is, I am performing best during those times, and I should be concentrating on those times and sticking to the tables during those times, and probably avoiding the tables during the other times where I'm losing money. Before we get into the next report, I just want to say that if you do not have Holdem Manager, head down to the video description. There is a link for Holdem Manager as well as Poker Tracker. Poker Tracker is just about the same software. You can do pretty much all the same reports on that. You guys need to be analyzing your game off the table, because if you're not improving your game, you're falling behind, because so many other players are working on their game off the table and taking the time to improve. So if you can stay one step ahead of everyone else, you will turn your game into a money machine. Now we're going to do a day of the week and see which days we are performing best at. And from what you can see here, Saturday, Sunday are extremely high. I'm doing almost twice as good on Saturday and Sunday as I am on any other day of the week. Unfortunately, I don't have as many hands on those days. So maybe I should be giving up more of my weekends and sticking to the poker tables. I still do have consistent win rates throughout Monday through Friday, but I'm doing best on the weekends. There's probably more regulars on the table during the week, and some of the more amateur players are probably playing during the weekend because they have more free time, and you get more pros on the table during the week. Possibly. I'm just coming up with theories here. One more report that I would like to run is by number of players. This way you can find the best size table to play at, and from here you can see I have only played the full ring table tables during the 100k challenge, and so I have a ton of hands with the 9, 8, and it gets less as we go down. But let's say you're performing best with 6 players or 5 players, then you should be playing at the short-handed tables instead of the full ring tables. From what you can see here, I'm most comfortable at the full ring, and from 7 to 9 players are my highest win rates. I'm actually doing pretty well at the heads up and 3-person tables, but that is a very small sample size as well, and that could easily turn back around. But always stick to what you're good at. Let's say you do best heads up, then sit at the heads up tables. If you do best at the full ring with 9 to 7 players, that's where you should be playing, and I'm sure I'll see you all the time at those tables. Another good report that you can run is by Preflop whole cards. This way you can analyze your hands and which hands aren't performing well for you. Like right here, I have Ace Jack, which is losing money, Ace 10, which is losing money, Ace 9 offsuit, which is losing money, Ace 8 offsuit. So I'm playing a lot of the Ace blank offsuits incorrectly and not optimally. So there is definitely a leak in my game with those hands, and I need to analyze that and figure out where I am going wrong and what I can do to improve. So let's take a look at one of the Ace Jack offsuit hands, and we will do it by largest big blind lost. Look at the first one here. We have Ace Jack on the button. We got pretty deep stacks. Make it 3x. The big blind calls. That is a cooler. So he winds up flopping. This hand is actually from last night. I do remember this happening, and I knew what he had, and I couldn't get away from it. But check backs the flop. Both of us slow played the flop. He came out and fired. I put in a raise. He comes back over the top, and I just jam all in. With the draws out there and the jacks on the board, I figure the only hand that was going to beat me right here was pocket threes. Pocket queens I thought would have 3-bet pre-flop from this player, and any other jack hand unless it was jack queen I'm beating right now, and I didn't think he was going to be the type of player with a VPIP of 16 to play a jack queen in that position. So I jammed all in, and I knew that the only hand that was going to call, I knew that the only hand that was going to beat me was pocket threes, and there were a ton of other jack blank hands out there that I could beat, and he wound up having the pocket threes, and I lose the hand. I still had outs going into the river too. The last jack or an ace would have done it for me, but that does not help out my jack offsuit hands. Here is another one from 8 minutes prior. God damn it. 3x, under the gun +1, we get called by the player to our left, who is a regular, high volume regular at that, and we also get called by the big blinds. I check back the ace high flop, turn top 2. Right here, I did think about betting here, because this player, fish and chips, is kind of fishy, high VPIP, but very low aggression frequency, and I probably should have raised right there. There's a lot of hands that he could be betting, but I also thought I was good and was pretty much going to play any big river against this player, even though he has such a low aggression frequency, only bets 19% of hands. And he of course hits his flush on the river, comes out and bets big. His highest bet percentage is on the river, and his showdown is a 47% won at showdown. So right here I'm thinking he probably bet his flush draw. He might have had king 10 for the straight, but he doesn't show down well either. I think I could have gotten rid of this one, and think I maybe should have gotten rid of this one, but I do make the call. What do you guys think about this hand? Is this one that you would have folded at the river? Should I have raised it at the turn possibly? Let me know what you think down in the comment section. We'll finish it up. Yep, there's the call, and there go the chips. But as you can see, the highest win rates are obviously from aces. If that win rate isn't high for you, you need to take a serious look at your game and how you are playing your hands and how you're playing aces. Maybe you're not being aggressive enough with them. As you can see, my aggression frequency is 71.5% with the aces. But the whole card report is a great way to analyze what specific hands you play well and which ones you don't play well and where you need to work on your game. So definitely get into your Holdem manager, get into Poker Tracker, download those if you you don't have them, the links are down in the video description. 30-day free trial. Let's put in the time off the table to improve our game on the table. Experience on the table is important, but I think that analysis off the table of your game is just as important, and then implementing what you have learned in your next sessions and ingraining that into your game is incredibly important. Hit that subscribe button if you guys have not done that yet. Tons of great videos on how to analyze your game, as well as tons of gameplay and analysis of that are coming up in the near future. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video and you learned something new. Share it with anyone who might be interested, and head out to America's Card Room. Let's play some poker together and say what's up to me out on the virtual felt.